the Virtual Assistant Starter Kit, bundling SOPs, templates, and a kickoff call for new clients. Freelance VAs are sitting on a client-ready product they haven't packaged yet. Every experienced virtual assistant has the same 3 documents buried in a Google Drive folder. The onboarding questionnaire they've refined across a dozen clients, the shared doc templates that make handoff painless, and a rough script for the first call where they figure out what a client actually needs. Individually, those are just internal notes, packaged together and sold as a fixed-price starter kit. They're a product, one that lets a new client buy a system on day one instead of negotiating an hourly rate before they've even seen how you work. The VA's charging $35.50 an hour and still fielding, "Can you do a discovery call first?" requests are leaving a genuinely sellable asset on the table. This is the build guide for turning it into one. Why a starter kit beats quoting an hourly rate. When a prospective client asks, "How much do you charge?" an hourly number invites comparison shopping. They'll take your rate and go check 3 other VAs on the same criteria. A starter kit sidesteps that entirely because there's nothing to compare it against. Nobody else is selling your onboarding SOPs, your templates, and your kickoff call as one bundled offer. It also solves a real trust problem for first-time clients. Hiring a VA feels risky when the deliverable is vague, ongoing support, but a fixed-price kit with a clear list of what's inside feels like buying a defined thing. You're not asking them to trust you for an open-ended relationship yet. You're asking them to buy a $200 onboarding package, which is a much smaller decision to make on a Tuesday afternoon. This is also why the packaging matters as much as the content. A folder of Google Docs shared after a client says, "Yes" reads as improvised. The same document sold through a proper storefront, delivered instantly the moment payment clears, reads as a business. If you haven't yet set one up, this is the point where it stops being optional. Create your store before you build the kit itself, because the delivery experience is part of what you're selling. What actually goes inside the kit? A starter kit that's worth $150 to $215 needs 4 components, and skipping any one of them turns it back into just some templates. The onboarding questionnaire does the heavy lifting of extracting the information you need without a back and forth of scattered messages. Tool logins, communication preferences, recurring task lists, priority order. The shared doc templates, task tracker, weekly report, meeting notes format, establish how you'll actually work together, which is the thing most new VA client relationships get wrong in month 1. A written SOP for how you handle common requests, email triage rules, calendar booking logic, how you flag something urgent, sets expectations before the first real task lands. And the paid kickoff call, 30 to 45 minutes, scheduled after the questionnaire is submitted so it isn't wasted on basic questions, is where you walk through their specific setup live. The bundling rule. Never sell the kickoff call separately from the documents, and never sell the documents without the call. A PDF alone feels like a template pack. A call alone feels like unpaid consulting. Bundled, it's an onboarding system, and that's the thing worth a fixed price. Pricing and structuring the offer. Price the kit as a flat fee, not a discounted version of your hourly rate. Clients aren't buying hours. They're buying a defined outcome, a fully onboarded working relationship ready to go. A reasonable illustrative range for most niches is $149 and $249 as a one-time charge, with the kickoff call scheduled after purchase rather than before. If you want to make the funnel work even harder, sell a lighter free version of the SOP template as a lead magnet first. This is exactly the kind of free-to-paid ladder store Fan's a live example store demonstrates well, where a no-cost download builds the list and a paid tier does the converting. When it's time to actually set the price, check the pricing page for what plan level supports the checkout fields and delivery method you need. Custom checkout fields matter here because you'll want to collect the client's time zone and preferred tools at the point of sale, not after. Finalize the onboarding questionnaire as a fillable document, not a plain list of questions. Duplicate your best shared doc templates into a clean, client-ready copy. Strip out any of your own client names or data. Write the one-page SOP covering communication rules, response times, and how urgent items get flagged. Decide the kickoff call length and build a simple structure for it so every call covers the same ground. Set a flat price and add custom checkout fields for time zone and primary tool stack. Package all files into a single downloadable zip or shared folder link for instant delivery. Write a short delivery message that tells the client exactly how to book the kickoff call after purchase. Delivery is the part clients actually judge you on. The moment right after payment is where a lot of VA offers quietly fall apart. The client pays, then waits for an email, then has to ask where the call booking link is. That gap is exactly what a proper storefront removes. The buyer gets a secure download on screen and by email the instant the payment clears, with no manual step on your end. If the kickoff call is part of the kit, the same delivery message should include the booking link so there's zero friction between "I paid" and "I have a call on the calendar." This single detail, instant, automatic delivery with no lag, is often the difference between a client who feels like they hired a professional and one who's quietly wondering if they made a mistake. Clients don't remember the SOP document a month later. They remember whether the first 5 minutes after paying felt organized or chaotic, turning one-time buyers into retainer clients. The starter kit isn't meant to replace your retainer income, it's meant to be the on-ramp to it. A client who's paid a flat fee for a well-run onboarding is dramatically more likely to convert into an ongoing monthly client than one you tried to sell a retainer to cold, because they've already experienced how you work before any long-term commitment is on the table. Structure the kickoff call to end with a clear next step. A short recap of what ongoing support could look like, with a simple path to book it. If you're offering recurring support as a subscription rather than one-off hours, a membership-style offer sold through the same storefront keeps the whole client relationship, kit, kickoff, and retainer, inside one link instead of scattered across invoices and DMs. It's also worth revisiting the kit itself every quarter. VAs who specialize in inbox management, e-commerce ops, podcast production, real estate admin should tailor the SOP language and templates to that niche rather than keeping them generic. A kit that says, "I handle real estate transaction coordination" in its onboarding questions sells itself to the right client far faster than a one-size-fits-all version ever will. Browse more guides on packaging niche services if you're deciding which specialty to build the kit around first. Common mistakes that quietly sink the offer. The most frequent failure isn't a bad template. It's underselling the price out of nervousness the first time. A VA who's used to quoting $30 an hour often prices the kit at $49 just to see if it sells, which undercuts the entire premise. A price that low signals a template pack, not a system, and it trains your first buyers to expect discount tier pricing from you permanently. Set the price where the kit's actual value sits, and let the bundled kickoff call justify it. A live call with you is worth more than any document, and pricing the kit like that reflects the truth. The second common mistake is treating the kit as a one-time build you never touch again. Client feedback from the first few kickoff calls almost always surfaces a question the SOP didn't answer or a template field nobody actually uses. Fold those fixes back in within the first month rather than letting the kit go stale while your actual process evolves past it. None of this requires new skills. It requires packaging skills you already have into something a client can buy in under 2 minutes at 11 p.m. without a phone call first. That's the entire point of a link in bio storefront. One link, instant delivery, and a checkout that works whether the buyer's paying with a card, Apple Pay, or Google Pay. If a setup question comes up while you're building the kit, contact support rather than guessing your way through it. Key takeaways. Your existing onboarding docs, templates, and first call habits are already 80% of a sellable starter kit. The work is packaging, not creating from scratch. Price the kit as a flat, one-time fee. A real example, $149, $249, that includes a paid kickoff call. So clients commit before you've spent a single hourly rate minute on discovery. A kit sold as a digital product with instant delivery removes the awkward, "let me email you the SOP" step and makes the first impression feel professional immediately. The kickoff call belongs inside the kit, not offered separately. Bundling it turns a sales call into a paid deliverable clients expect to pay for. Once the kit exists, it also becomes your best lead magnet. A shorter free version builds your list, while the paid version does the selling. Start your creator store, free, at store.fan.